The council of, yo, you got a mosquito on your arm. What you gonna do when that smack come down? Mosquito, what you gonna do?
He was
Mosquito.
loving it. He was loving it too, boy. He was like, I'm not moving. To the death.
Yeah, he said to the death, I'm gonna die on this hill.
He was watching. He's like, damn.
Since the beginning, we fought each other like savages, faced nature, destroyed the planet, created killer machines and weapons of mass destruction with the disregard of life. We're headed straight off the cliff. Wait, is that an 8?
But let's just start this proper. You know what I'm saying? Let's just start this proper.
Yeah.
So this, we're
I
gonna
like
cut
that stuff.
everything from the beginning.
This niggas stop cutting the lawn, man. And we gotta, speak up. So, you know what I'm saying?
Where were we?
Huddle.
Recap. What's good, guys? This is Hunter, checking in on the fourth dimension.
Yo, y'all know who it is, right? BurneR. So, we're just, you know what I'm saying? You know how we do.
Chopping it up
You know what I'm saying?
over a bowl.
So,
Cereal's real tasty.
I don't even know. Do you remember where we left off? Where we were about to start off at?
I mean, we were kind of talking about religion a little bit, and then we were talking about Muslims and praying.
The creator, who created
So-
nature.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't follow the normal tradition of what we here in the West understand things to be. But I am aware when we look at nature has this cycle that's forever embedded into itself. So in terms of who is the creator, all I can say is I believe it's a source of energy. It doesn't have a sex, it's neither male or female. And then that source then broke off that pieces of aspects of itself into different segments that we will call like the cosmos, Earth, and then whatever we have underneath. I mean, even when you look at the Kemetan cosmology, you have Nut and Geb, right? And Nut was the sky goddess, and then Geb was the earth goddess. So it shows you like there was a feminine and a masculine energy that was going on in a cycle, and then you had the earth, which was the in between. So in other words, you have a total of three different aspects of the source energy, and then we live on this earth realm. We live on the earth realm in terms of our home, right? And now, for lack of better words, again, I don't believe how religion portrays things to be. So I do think that again, the God or the Most High is not a he, nor do I believe it's a she like some other cosmologies do. I believe it's a combination of both, and then it's broken off into different expressions.
So, you might have to run it back again because
Yeah.
I don't think I heard like
Just ask your specific question, and I'll be direct.
there you go. There you go. Who do you think created nature? How do you think nature was created, or no? Who's the author of nature?
I don't know a name. I don't believe there is thus name. Because just like a thought comes like, think of a puddle of water, right? And you get a pebble, and you throw that pebble into this puddle of water, and then you have this little drip, and then it ripples out into a circular motion. I believe to a certain aspect, creation happened in that sense. Again, I don't know what this name would be of that process, or the person, or I wouldn't even say person, for lack of better words, the energy that created that process. But again, I believe once that ripple took place, those different things that I explained from the sky, the earth, and then the underneath is what the cosmos, the skies, and the earth is what created what we are in today. I don't believe a male creator. I don't believe a female creator. I believe there was a ambidextrous, I guess, or unsexed source of energy that took place and created all of this.
So randomness of randomness, that randomness on top of randomness
All I'm expressing is
is
the
what
only
you say.
this is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
The only reason why you believe it's a he is because the book told you it was he. If the book said she, for lack of better words, if the book said she, right? Would you be like, oh yeah, the Most High is a she? Yes or no?
So
Yes or no?
yes.
So in other words,
Right.
because a group of men came together and created a book that explained that thus said is he,
Uh,
you're saying, oh yeah, it's a he. How do you know it's a he?
I can answer.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Bust it. So, I agree with you. If the Bible said it was a she, that God is a she, then I would say, according to the Bible, according to the Word, according to the Holy Scriptures, God is she. She is God. So, to my next point, it doesn't identify God as a gender. It identify God as a spiritual.
So what does he mean?
But it references him as a he also.
So what does that mean?
And it also says, if I remember correctly, it also says something about how you set the hierarchy, how we should mimic that, because it's the way it is in heaven.
What does he mean?
He as in dominant.
Really? So, okay, are you saying that she can't be dominant?
Well, not in the same sense as a man.
That's not my question. My question is because remember how I told you words can be so confusing, right? Remember I said words can be so confusing, right? Remember how I explained pray versus pray?
Mm-hmm.
And then I explained that, in other words, praying is really meditating, and then praying could be trying to take something from someone, right? So on the flip side, what are you really saying? You're saying men and women can't be just as aggressive as one another? Very interesting when you have a lot of these bodybuilding women who have a lot of testosterone in their system, and they be fucking these men. I'll be like, whoa. Wow. It was just some funny stuff. A video I saw. It was just hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, people do some funny stuff, man. It's strange. Group chats. Them WhatsApp group chats. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Somebody will drop a crazy video and it downloads in your file. And you scrolling through your camera roll like, what is this? Play. Whoa! What is that?
Word.
Crazy. Anywho, back to the point. I just don't follow that normal stuff, man. I'd rather be strange.
Because now you got me feeling all... you got me feeling a certain way because the way that came off. Because at the same time, you could have you could be masculine, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the same thing when you think of masculinity.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's like a different level.
I think the correct way of saying it is there's a balance of being feminine and masculine inside of us, because we both have both of those energies, right? On the flip side, we both have testosterone and estrogen, which are male and female dominant hormones, both in male and female. So again, sometimes you'll have women that will have a little bit more testosterone in their system than what they should, and on the flip side, you'll have men who have more estrogen in their system. And then when men have more estrogen, chances are their thyroid's out of whack. And if your thyroid is out of whack, oh boy.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's skip all that explaining stuff.
Yeah.
In no way do I mean that both sex aren't equal. Okay, no
I know
way.
what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
I don't think
I'm gonna squash that. And I don't know how the hell you started talking about no goddamn thyroid, like yo.
Because think of this. At the end of the day, if you're not healthy, you're not making logical decisions. You're not making healthy decisions, right? You're feeding your body a whole bunch of shit and your body's all out of whack. So half the time you think you're making a decision for yourself, and it's really the parasites in your body making the decisions for you. So all I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, if your body's all out of whack, the decisions you make are going to be all out of whack.
Wow. Well, I never thought about it that way.
Again, I told you, I don't look at things like the normal.
I really do need to sign up for a gym. That's, people are telling me...
Sign up for what, man? I told you to slide, bro.
Man,
I told you this.
people telling me in many different ways. This nigga just did a pamphlet.
It cost you
shit.
30 minutes.
This nigga did a health pamphlet.
It cost someone created you a pamphlet.
This nigga did like the last page of the pamphlet.
Hey, wait,
Did he give
you a nutrition fact list?
Yeah, man. That nigga charged me too, bro.
When to eat and not to eat?
My money up.
Hey, listen, man, listen. I can tell you what I learned.
Wow.
Because regardless of your diet choices, there's certain things that you can implement currently that's going to help get you certain results, but it's all based off of how bad you want it. And if you don't want it, it's going to show.
Wow.
It's going to show right here, all in your body. Your body's going to speak for itself. So at the end of the day, I'm giving you an invitation to come to the gym so that you can then enter into an opportunity to get the results you're looking for. Why not?
Let's do this.
Again, it only costs you 30 minutes of your time. And
But
then
you see, the thing is, I'm worried about my sleep situation, but I don't want to get into that because we're recording right now. But
it's a conversation that we're still having because it's still about being conscious and making healthy decisions. We're not diving too deep, but
right. Oh yeah, that's right. This is part. This is just left turn.
We're not diving too deep.
Man,
but we're still.
I'm already lost.
We're not diving too deep.
I'm already lost. Like wait, where? Okay, that's right. We came from that way. Oh man. So yeah. Regardless of the he or she situation.
Yeah.
Things just happening randomly just doesn't make sense.
I didn't say things happen randomly.
You know what I'm saying? The way it's explained, that's where it comes off. Like a pebble in a thing, bounce, ricochet.
I just gave scenarios.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
I don't know exactly
like,
what happened.
There's a lot of things going on during that ripple. You know.
Do you know everything that happened?
So,
do you know the exact names and the authors of certain said books that provided us a lot of the information we know? Do you know any of it to be 100% real, or do you believe it to be real?
I just want to say that if I was to pick up any one of these grass, just simple looking grass from the naked eye, put it under a microscope.
Yep.
It'll be like a little mini city of living organisms.
Just as much as if you was to pinch yourself with a needle, get some blood, put it on the microscope, you see a whole bunch of living organisms as well. You'll see it all in there too.
Oh man, yo.
So, and that's what I explained before earlier when we started conversating that the plants is a representation of of ourselves on a physical and a metaphysical level. You got me slip-lipping and shit.
No, man.
Yeah.
Because not every plant is the same.
I think you're missing the point.
Crazy.
Because not every human is the same.
And that's even crazier. And there's billions of us.
So what is that trying to tell you? There's billions of these plants out here as well, right?
Yeah.
Stop sidestepping the message to try and fancy. Look, at the end of the day, it's all I'm simply saying is that there's nothing new under the sun, right? And a lot of these religions are saying the same message, the same story. But here in the West, we seem to practice the religion and miss the message. We live it verbatim. We live it verbatim like, oh, this, that, and the third, and blase squaze, simply saying that we expecting a lot of these things to happen, like someone's literally going to come and save us. And no one is going to come save us. No one's going to come pay your bills. No one is going to come buy your groceries for you. No one's going to wash your back. I mean, if you have enough money, those things can happen. But the average person out here don't got that. All right?
Let me know when I can talk, man.
Go ahead, talk.
No, continue. I don't want to mess up your rhythm, dog. Dog. Give them the drums beating, dog.
You can't mess up the rhythm, bro. This is what it is. It's always going to be, bro.
Oh, man. Get the drums beating, dog.
BurneR.4D, baby. We hunting on the fourth dimension.
First of all.
We going deep.
First of all.
Yeah.
First of all. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, dog. How dare you say that?
Say what?
He's
I said a lot
returning
of things.
To save us from this hellhole. Everything else is happening that he predicted.
He predicted. How you know he predicted that, man? Because the book said so? Because the book said so?
Okay.
What I'm explaining to you is that there's a lot of things that were quote unquote predicted in The Simpsons, right? Or on the flip side, could The Simpsons just tell you, could Simpsons just showed you something that was happening and then they made it happen, they made it come to be? Right or wrong? Because everything that we're seeing, it's coming from TV, right? It's not like you prophesied something and then it actually happened. On the flip side, on a grand scale that affected a mass group of people. I'm not saying that you're not a Messiah, I'm not saying that you are, but we all come with a message, right? Sometimes that message may be good, sometimes that message may be bad. But on the flip side, come on, you're gonna rebuke me because I'm speaking my mind? That's probably what happened to Jesus, right? He spoke his mind. He wanted to save. He was raising the dead. He was changing wine to water. Excuse me, water to wine. What did he do with the bread?
Giving the blind sight.
Was it? He was doing a lot of different things, right? But yet these other people wanted to kill him. So you're gonna rebuke me because I'm speaking my mind, because I'm going against what the normal times is saying? Isn't that technically what Jesus was doing? He's going against what the people were saying, or the group as a whole. Oh, this, that, and the third. I can't remember verbatim. You know what? I'm gonna put some time aside to really read it again from beginning to end to get to refresh myself. But with that being said, not comparing myself, but is my actions no different than what he was doing, despite what my message is and his message is? It's a simple yes or no, because I have another thing to say.
It's no.
No, that my actions are no different. Okay.
Detail?
Absolutely.
First, if you read the stories and you hear Jesus quote also, he talks about the prophets, the messengers, the ones like you say you are.
We're all messengers. We all messengers.
Okay. He speaks of those, and he says, just like the prophets that came before me.
I'm no prophet.
Hold on. Messengers. People that speak their mind.
I see. Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. So, just like the ones before me, the ones in the Old Testament, people in my own house, people in my own town, they're not going to believe me. They're going to want to hurt me. And if you read the Bible, see the prophets in the past got killed in their own hometown.
It's interesting. So I guess what you're trying to tell me is I should move. if you're trying to call me a prophet, and
so I just answered a yes or no question.
no, but it's interesting because
I could be, you know.
No. In reality,
give or take here and there.
In reality, I believe what your energy is expressing to me right now is that maybe I am coming to a point where I do need to look into making certain changes into my lifestyle. Again, I'm not looking at what you're saying to me. I'm looking at the message you're conveying to me. On the flip side, again, there is no comparison because I don't believe Jesus to be real. I do believe that there was a person that did play certain roles, and that person may have played multiple roles throughout different lives, if that makes sense. Because there's different religions that spoke of someone that did similar things within their culture. So when I really look at it, like, is this the same one person just depicted in different stories, or did they use like one story and just try to over time implement it to different cultures that they've dominated over time? With that being said, ain't no way in hell, bro, every country is gonna have the very same story, just with different expressions here and there that's a little different because of their cultural differences. There's no way. Now, on the flip side, I am aware, right, when you look at things on an energetic standpoint, like at a source standpoint, they all the different religions, they did kind of have an understanding of different, I guess, expressions, I should say, or different gods or deities to represent different parts of our human being, right? So that is where I do find an interesting correlation. Skip the names and whatnot. It's all about what they represent. Like, for example, in Hinduism, you have Ganesh, which is for prosperity and health, and a few others. But when you step outside of that and you look at other religions, there's I can't remember them all, but you have the Greeks, they have certain gods that represent that, and so forth. Then the Mayans, they have certain gods that represent that same prosperity and wealth and so forth. The Africans, they have certain orishas, I believe it's called, that represent that aspect of energy, and that's all I'm trying to get to. Again, you can miss me if you're trying to say, damn bro, how the fuck you gonna shit on Jesus? I'm not shitting on Jesus. It's simply saying is that it's the message behind what he is conveying that I'm getting to.
So, I'm gonna answer with this. First of all, let's put a timer on, so we can have some. I need some pen and paper too, so we can get some work done out here.
Wow, I get you a piece of paper.
No, I got. That's good enough.
Yeah.
You got a pen over there. I just hijacked your pen. There you go. Now, yeah. So,
What's the timer?
I don't see
What's the timer?
3 minutes. I don't see it as anything as I don't take offense to your disbelief in Jesus. I want you to know that off rip. I can't force you to believe anything in the scripture. And the scripture will object to that. Me forcing you or doing any kind of trickery to convince you to believe. You have to believe on your own. So when you say stuff like things you just said, I just take it as, like you said, you haven't read everything to get a full understanding. Cool? So now, the God that I read about in the Bible is not about confusion. Why you need God A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
So then why would you need Jesus? What are the commandments? Can you tell me that again? Please? I can't remember.
A, you can't put me on the spot. Yo, I can't vouch for that, dog. I can't vouch for that. You know.
It's cool. Just keep going.
But that's why I just got the pen too, bruh. So it's gonna be better next time around. I just forgot most of the stuff I said, but I just wanted to point that out, because you did say a lot. Anything in particular you want me to address that you spoke on just now? Because I had mad things to say, and until I.
Yeah, you need to keep using that pen and that paper, bro.
Yeah, man.
But on the flip side, like I said, bro, all we have is what they tell us, and that to me brings no value to nobody. Because how do you know unless you're able to cross-reference? How do you know? You don't know. Because again, most of the times when you cross-reference, you can only cross-reference inside the Bible. What benefit is that? When the Bible is the only source. When there's a shitload of shit going on before the Bible was created. Remember, if the Bible was to represent 6,000 years, the printing press was created in the 1400s. Shut up. So yeah, the printing press was created in the 1400s. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Go back.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, you're asking me now. Yes, it was.
Okay, let's run it back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You tripping me out, bro.
I know.
Okay, the printing press was created in the 1400s, right? So the first Bible was printed somewhere, I believe, in the 15 or the 1600s or something like that, and that's supposed to represent like 6,000 years or whatever. So you're telling me that all of this that we're experiencing in this life was all created within 6,000 years?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, 6,000 years.
So why do we have all of these, let's just call it Kemetan or Egyptian artifacts that are older than 6,000 years old? And then why do some of their, I guess, for lack of better words, religious/spiritual beliefs kind of representing a lot of what we see in modern day Christianity? But again, this stuff is a lot older than 6,000 years.
You want me to take the remainder?
No?
Let me take the remainder of the time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you can start my joint over if you want. So, you said the Bible was 4,000 years, right? Made 4,000 years ago.
I didn't say.
I mean, printer press, right?
It's made in the 1400s.
Printer press.
1452.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't other methods and ways to get literature around.
Well,
They used to use skin, remember?
yeah. So I think the better question you should say is, why did I bring that up? And it's because they only can create so many Bibles, right? It took them months to write one Bible. How many were they able to actually create to then go walk around and then teach people the word and then give them a copy for them to know exactly what's what? Remember the Crusades, when Dumb Diverses took place in the 1450 or whatever.
Stop. I
Yes.
think you should write down what you're saying. Right?
I kind of remember Dumb Diverses and that stuff. What are you?
No, I
referring
mean
to?
like, so when I finish my 3 minutes, you can respond.
Oh, just say that. Because you asked the question. Bro.
I know. But I'm thinking like, damn it, I shouldn't have
Yeah.
blah blah
Then you should let me finish then. But go ahead.
blah. You start me over, dog.
Wow. You're a horrible debater. Even though
I
we're
gotta
not
speed this shit
debating.
up. All right, cool. Printed press for the thousands, and they had different methods of getting literature and information around. And aside from that, the Bible states that it was 6,000 that the world is created 6,000 years ago, right? Okay, so roughly give or take 6,000 years ago. And as you said that there's carbon dating that says Egyptians and other people were living years before that, right?
Hit or miss.
Hit or miss. And Egyptians have similar belief that are older than Christianity, right? Cool. So carbon dating is you hear carbon dating a lot, is also hit or miss. So one of what I mentioned earlier is how you said, how am I going to believe something without any proof or any reference and whatnot? So faith, that's what faith is about. Having faith in a word that he will return. Now carbon dating, it's up to you if you want to believe man's word over God's word.
Okay.
You know, carbon dating is man's way, man's method of determining age, right? And also it's stated in the Bible that Abraham, which is the father of the Israelites, pretty much, he's a start. His father was practicing another religion, and it states that in the Bible. So there, you said Egyptians, similar belief. The Bible doesn't deny any of that. So I don't know where your mindset is at for people that think that, you know, there wasn't another belief before Abraham, you know. And mind you, who is that? Moses is the one that wrote the Bible, right? Wrote the first four,
The Torah 5.
first five, and that included the story of Abraham. So that knowledge was handed down to him, right? Because we have no proof of Adam and Eve. We don't have no proof of that story. So if you believe in that, and if you have faith that that's how the beginning was, it was in the beginning, why would you deny how it's going to be in the end? When you're seeing things happening that were described in the Bible is happening now. And what's the point of reference? One last thing. And what's the point of referencing the age when the message is what's the word I'm looking for?
The age of what?
What's the point of referencing the age of the Bible and printing press and all that other stuff when the message is like spreads amongst a lifetime? Sure, this shit could start it could have started last week. The message is so strong, it would be pointless to reference the age, is what I'm trying to say. All right, my time is up.
I didn't say that carbon dating was the source of how they track the stuff. Again, I just used it as an example. More importantly,
My bad.
no, it's straight. More importantly, so to my understanding, the Bible was constructed during the Council of Nicaea, right? And to my understanding, the Council of Nicaea was a group of men that came together in Alexandria, Egypt. I can't remember the exact year, but you can look this up. More importantly, these men came together, formed these different books that we call thus the Bible. So is that not man's word? Even though it was inspired by God or what have you, is that not man's word? Now, more importantly, I do believe that when we read the Bible, yes, it may convey a great message, but it's not our story. It's not our story. So, yeah, and again, I have no hate in my heart for no man whatsoever. Just using this as an example because there's others from different walks of life that hate one another. So when we take that into consideration, when we look at, let's just use someone from China right now because of the whole virus crap, right? We looking at we look at the virus we look at these Chinese people as they're not a part of our culture because they look different and so forth, right? So they may have a different story that may not convey the same aspect of our story, but the message itself is the same. And that's all I'm trying to say, is that yeah, it's not our story, but the message may just work for you because it brings value.
Dang.
Now, Adam and Eve, anytime we speak on Adam and Eve, we have to take into consideration that Adam also had another wife named Lilith, which is not spoke on in the Bible, which is very interesting because, again, outside of the Bible, there's a lot of interesting information that's come about, or that's been spoken on, that represent a lot of different aspects or expressions, again, of what we are as humans. Not saying that Adam and Eve and Lilith and Abraham and any of these people were actual legitimate people. There was just stories in a book to represent a different, I should say, other stories from other cultures around the nation. Lastly, age is important because we have to pay homage to the original creators. We have to pay homage to the original creators of the message, because there's this thing called the telephone, and over time the message will change as it changes, as the message exchanges hands. Every time it gets to a new phone, the message always changes. So you always pay homage to the original creator of the information. So I go back, the Bible again was created by a bunch of men that came together. Who was the one that came with the original thought?
Okay. So
Display. Put it to lock after 4 minutes.
okay, so check this out. You said a lot there, so luckily let me see if I can remember most of the stuff down. So I gotta stop mumbling like that.
Be direct.
Right.
That's what I like about this pen and that paper.
So you asked the question if man created the Bible, because the council of you got a mosquito on your arm. What you gonna do when that smack come down? Mosquito, what you gonna do? Mosquito.
He was loving it too, boy. He was like, I'm not moving. To the death.
Yeah, he said to the death, I'm gonna die on this hill.
He was watching. He's like, damn.
Oh man, that was funny.
Epic.
So the Council of Nicaea, right, are the group of people you said got together and created the Bible, and they was in charge of creating the Bible and making sure that they got the message correct, right? And they wanted to make sure that anything that didn't fit right with the scriptures and with the ways of with God's behavior, anything that doesn't reflect God, it's like it's his. If you read the Bible, you know God. Well, you get to learn him. You get to learn who he is, and anything that's not holy or not truth to the Bible or is slightly off, they're gonna exclude it. If the shit don't make sense, they're gonna exclude it. If this shit goes against, if the shit ain't right, they're gonna exclude it.
So
they had to make sure they got this right to the T as best as they can. So now I know there have been some modifications with a word here and there too, but sometimes those modifications are made to clarify a picture rather than to change it. So the whole Adam and Eve and Lilith stuff, if there's truth to that, then that should have been clearly stated. No. Two things. If there's any truth to that, and if there's any point to convey on how we should be living or how what God expects us to be like, then it would have been clearly stated, and she would have clearly came up. Second, there is the other side of the book, the things that was left out of the book. I forgot the name of the book. Well, this lady on YouTube, right? I was watching a video, and they was talking about names I've never heard, like demons of the of hell. and they was naming them, and because I was looking up a scripture, and I was like, what the hell is what scripture is this from? And I looked, and it was the New Standard Bible joint. And he had these devils that, according to that scriptures, or just the one line of the name of the devil, and I looked them up, and the devil pretty much, it says when you die, you'll meet this devil, and nothing like that is in the King James Bible or the New King James. And this lady tried to convince me to read it because she said, "Oh, there's stuff in there that the Bible leaves out." Now, if there's one little bit of lie, why would I continue to read the rest of the shit? You know what I'm saying? And when you say pay, can I get 30 more seconds on the clock, sir? All right. When you say pay homage, right, to our ancestors or to the people who yada 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 came before us, they're dead and gone, and we don't know them for shit. But we know the message from God. We know His word, like His word said. His word will keep on, and it has done that. And we don't know, like you said, we don't know for sure who went through what to get this message out. But this message is out, and it's thriving, and it's continuing to grow. And they say this is the word of God, and His spirit is continuing to spread all over the world. It says He will return when everyone gets a chance.
Lilith is very important. I can't remember the beginning part. I was gonna speak on it, but I'm just gonna let that be. Lilith, on the other hand, is very important because, again, these people weren't real people. They were to represent stories in different aspects. So Lilith, in other words, if I can remember the story correctly, and please forgive me, family, if I got the story wrong, but Lilith was Adam's first wife, and she would do everything for Adam, but then she got to a point where she wanted to do something different, and Adam was like, "Bitch, please, it's my way or the highway." And Lilith was like, "What? Really? I done give you all of me, and you can't even do this for me?" And Adam's like, "Fuck off, bitch. No, I'm not gonna do it." So I believe Lilith left, and she represents like the rebellious woman with free spirit, and she's very what's the word I'm looking for? Sexual. Yeah. So with that being said, Lilith is still I believe Lilith to be a very important aspect, but yet it's not spoken on because it's a story. Again, it's just to create a specific image that they wanted within the Bible. Now, more importantly, when it comes to our ancestors, bro, the only reason we don't know our ancestors is because we follow our religion. That's the only reason why. But before religion came into play, our ancestors, they did their cycles. The women would do their thing, the men would do their thing. They would come together, they would dance, they would have joyous occasions, they would have feasts, they would do a lot of different things. And then here come big business, aka religion. In my opinion, the God that's represented in the Bible, all it is a big ass CEO. He's just a big businessman here to collect your money, sell y'all a dream. Most of everyone who comes out of I should say the hard comings in life, they do so based off of their energy. Sometimes people help, sometimes people don't. Their faith allows them to believe that, such and such God provided that to them. But again, that's in terms of believing in the Bible. I do believe that there is a source of energy that does allow things to flow in our life, but it's based off of our intentions and the things that we want to flow in our life. I'm good.
Okay.
I need some milk.
Oh man. So I'm ready. So the Bible, right? Story. You said the Bible has Adam, Eve, Lilith, right? So, what would be the point of Lilith, and how does it help us grow to get nearer to God? And what would be the point of having two rebellious women? And if there is two rebellious women that he was married to, even though God and Jesus reiterated that it's to be from one man to a woman, even though, and he told Adam, these are the rules. So, and how would the story of Lilith help us get to know God, or get closer to God, or what will be the lesson and the message that we should get from her, other than her rebelliousness? Because we already have a story of Queen of Rebelliousness, Eve. Simple. When you watch The Rock, movies, TVs, wherever he goes, do you watch The Rock for Rock, or do you watch The Rock for his kids? No, you want to follow The Rock for The Rock, right? Because we're talking about Eve, the mother of rebelliousness. What would be the point of Lilith? Moving on from that, our ancestors, right? We talk about our ancestors. Our ancestors' job is to deliver the message, to save our soul for paradise and eternity. That's their job. What we gonna pay homage to them in what sense? They can't hear us. They're dead. The dead cannot hear us. They can't respond. They can't acknowledge in any way. Their job was to deliver this message, to save us. Just like how your job is to deliver lessons to your son. This one is about God and saving our soul. It's not about CEO, company, because you can get a Bible for free. And the energy you talk about is the energy of God. It's not of our own breath, bro. And one thing that's in the Bible that's a powerful thing that I think about every now and then is when it says, when I feel the air, when I feel the breeze, like how it's nice and windy out today, it's kind of remind me of this scripture that says, our life is I'm not quoting for quote, but our life is like a bare mist in the wind. One minute we're here, the next minute we're gone, pretty much.
Done.
So while we're still here, let's pass this message on.
Done.
Let's save some souls. Done.
So,
that's what the Bible's about.
I think, so ultimately, I think if you're, well, let me start off by saying, if Lilith came before Eve and she rebelled, wouldn't she be the OG of rebellion? Wouldn't she be the queen because she rebelled before Eve even came into the picture? Right.
I want to put the timer on, so I thought it was like freestyling for a minute.
Oh, no, my bad.
All right.
Damn.
Go ahead.
Also, different expressions. Lilith was just an expression because she was completely loyal to Adam up until the point where he didn't want to compromise for her. On the flip side, Eve was compromised based off of her own decisions. Eve was just like, I was tempted to eat this fruit because the serpent provided me an option. Lilith wasn't provided with an option. She was just saying, hey, look, I want you to do this. Adam said, I'm not doing it. So then she rebelled. Eve, on the other hand, she did what she wanted to do. And then fucked up Adam by having him join. Completely different. More importantly, isn't Jesus dead? And last time I checked, God is a word that was created, right? And if we look back before we could even fathom how to make words, how would they be able to explain, or how would they be able to convey without words what God is?
I didn't hear the first part of the sentence.
Before using words, before words came into the mix,
okay,
right? How could we use words, or no? How can we use our environment to express what God was? Because I do understand that nature, to me, is a representation of God. Everything above it and below it, because all of the elements that you can find in the earth, you can find in the human body, except for 8 essential amino acids, which I find very fascinating. That's why I do believe that we are individual gods in our own right, because again, we are one with nature. Nature is one with us. Nature just has 4 elements that it has to provide to us that we, our bodies, can't make on a regular basis. Oh yeah, so yeah, nature to me is God, for lack of better words.
Oh, I didn't know. I know. Hold on.
You good? I had like 30 seconds, so I'm just chilling.
Okay. Don't worry about the seconds, because the spacing, got that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I just waited. This is good. I like this. We're actually writing and getting some points across.
Yeah.
Since this is a pause, I guess. What time are you gonna head out?
I'm waiting on you. I'm staying. Smoke the hell out of this motherfucker. I'm waiting on you.
What?
It's your call. You the one gotta go. I don't.
No, cause I'm thinking because it's you gotta do it too. Okay. Well, let me hit this shit again. I want to get a smoothie too. Smoothies be dope.
All right, so let me go. Let me go. Ready?
Yep, start it out.
So, Lilith, right? if the story of Lilith is so, and if it's something that should be in the Bible and it's not, and it has some kind of important value in learning about God and the way He wants us to be, and it's not in the Bible, then I would agree with you that then it should be in the Bible and it's wrong for it not to be. I know God said He's not gonna let us know everything all at once, so hold your horses. And if this is one of the things that He doesn't want us to know, and we know, and it's missing out the Bible, but we still know, because then God doesn't want us to know, but we know, that shit don't make no sense. I'll just say that. And another thing too, you gotta remember that the Bible and God's words are not He's not about babbling, just talking on and off and for nothing. His words mean something. So Lilith, if she's meaningless, then she doesn't need to be in the Bible. So save that space for something more meaningful, right? If she has served no, if her story served no purpose, leave her out. I'm with that, because every word count. And is Jesus dead? Jesus is not dead. According to the Bible and our scripture, and my faith, He has risen from the dead and ascended to the heavens and will return and from the heavens. So, and then you went on to say something about before words, right? If words this and words that, and we didn't have something along the lines, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but something along the lines as there's some form of illiteracy, how can we believe the Bible? So according to the Bible, the world is 6,000 years, and according to you said Egyptians artifacts was found predated 6,000 years. So if you believe, I'm not saying you do, if you believe Egyptian has some form of literature that predates what the Bible says how old Earth is, or like us as existence is, but Egyptians have literatures way past then, how could you not believe that 6,000 years ago we had some kind of issue with communicating? Correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm misunderstanding you.
I appreciate the Bible, but I would rather it just keep it simple and be the basic instructions before leaving Earth. Reason being why people take the Bible literal, verbatim, and I don't see the point in doing that, because again, if that was the case, I guess a lot of times these people who are in different situations, He would present Himself in the physical, but I guess He isn't able to do that because He's risen to the heavens and He doesn't have the power to come back. I don't know. With that being said, I never said Lilith needed to be in the Bible. I'm just simply saying that there are different expressions of different aspects of life that we do experience within our actual reality. It's just a story to represent something that we will bump into. Again, it's simply saying that if you are a married man and you're with your wife for so long and she does everything for you down to the T, and then one day she actually comes to you for a little compromise, whether it's sex or you cook the food or whatever, and you say no, there's a chance that she will rebel against you because of the amount of time that she's invested into you, and you as a man said, you know what, fuck you bitch, my way or the highway. And most times that's how, relationships kind of fall apart, to say the least. Then on the flip side, Eve is simply saying that there's some women out there who fall victim to temptation, and because they fall victim, they don't want to feel no type of way, so they want you to fall with them, and they'll bring you down all the way to the bottom. I believe that's what Eve represents. Eve represents the woman that falls victim to temptation, and there's men who do the same, but again, it's the feminine energy, not the female, if that makes sense, because we all, both men and women, have feminine and masculine energy within inside of us. So just know that on the flip side, a man can do everything he can possibly for a woman, and then the second he asks for a compromise and she doesn't see so fit or whatever, he may step out and do different things or whatever to kind of feel fulfilled or whatever, because that's what he was looking for and he wasn't getting that. The story itself just represents the energy within us, not an actual male or female, even though it can go that way. It can go either way, because the pendulum swings this way or that way. That's a good one. That one's gonna have you sit. Oh, you gonna hold it? That was what have you sit, because I didn't break down the leaf that much.
It's the burner. It's not the leaf. So, all right, here you go. Lilith. So far, she still sounds pointless. Lilith's story. And when you say people take the Bible for verbatim, so people take the Bible for verbatim, right? I don't think you have a quite understanding of the Bible then. And it's funny, right? Jesus said, I'm going to speak to y'all in parables.
Stories.
Okay. Allegories. So let's see why he said that though. Because it has been given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdoms of heavens, but to them it has not been given. And in them the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled, which says, hearing you will hear and shall not understand, and seeing you will see and not perceive, for the heart of this people has grown dull. The ears are hard of hearing, and the eyes have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their heart and turn so that I should heal them.
Now, there's a point where I do believe that the people he was speaking to don't look like the people who are represented, right?
Yeah.
So I do believe that the message that he was conveying to is simply saying that these people who are coming to you now that looks nothing like you, they're coming for blood. And just know that because they look different, when they see you, they're gonna be like, whoa, fuck is this? That's how I'm kind of understanding the interpretation of that. With that being said, it kind of still looks the same now, where you can go into certain areas and people will just look at you like, what are you doing around here? You ain't from around these parts. When you see someone totally new for the first time, I mean, that's an expression that you give no matter what. So I do hear the message behind what he's saying, but who was that message really for?
See, that's where you get into the division part. It's for everyone.
How would you know?
It's for everyone.
How would you know? You want to believe that, but what can you tell me besides your belief that can solidify why you know that?
Because I'm experiencing it.
What are you experiencing?
Exactly what he's saying.
What is that?
He says, I will show you, and you still will not see. I will make you hear it, and you still won't believe what you're hearing. And I can relate to that.
And it's safe to say, for shits giggles, technically what I'm saying could be the same, right? Because again, the Bible wasn't a part of our ancestors' culture. It was brought over here, right? The intentions behind why the Bible was brought over here may not be why it's being used today, or why we want to believe it's being used today. But regardless of whatever today's, or whatever we want our today's intentions to be, the original intentions was not that. So again, was that message plagiarized and replicated to represent something else so it conveys a different message? Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is I just don't take it. I just don't buy it. It does serve, again, it serves its basic purpose, but I know that there's more. Because I can write a book about a specific story that happened in my life, but what about the rest of my life? Is that irrelevant?
Okay. So according to you, this religion was pushed on, and beliefs was pushed on to us, and pretty much erased our ancestors' belief. So now our belief has to be, there's something tainted in our belief because it destroyed our ancestors' belief. So if we were to still be doing things our ancestors were to be doing and believing, for example, we'll still be out here rain dancing. We'll still be out here putting tobacco up our nose. We're still killing ourselves, but we do a little bit more. It looks a little bit more elegant. When you look back, it looks a little bit more mature. Look at you grown up. You got a cigarette. Now we got the future. So when you said talking about the message about a book, writing a book about the message you want to leave behind, no one is against that. Even the Bible reference, I could be wrong, but I do believe, can't remember if it's in the Old Testament, or in the New Testament, there was a reference of the Bible for not the Bible, not the book, but the story of the guy from the Noah story that walked with God. I forgot the name of it. Masula, something like that. But nobody's against you writing a book and leaving your message behind, leaving your story behind. Nobody's against that. Let me ask you this: are you gonna leave a message behind for what purpose? Is your message gonna get us closer to God? Is your message gonna help us live a better life? Even if your message is to help us live a healthy life, nobody's against that. If you want to write a mystery, go do a mystery. Go do whatever you want. Nobody's against that. Leave whatever message or legacy you want to leave behind. Should we sing your praises? That's insane. Bible's the holy word.
You done?
I'm done.
So, it's not according to me, it's according to history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only just repeating the information. It's funny that you say rain dancing, because I think that a lot of people will have a little bit more fun dancing in the rain than actually going out to eat, because they spend more time on their phones than actually engaging in the actual dinner, in the actual engagement. So I just find that very funny. Thank you. Anywho, I guess, and I also guess you believe your ancestors were dumb when you had plenty of different ancient civilizations that were doing things with mud and water that we can't even replicate now. And I say that to be important because a lot of these civilizations, they were able to move water through irrigation systems that we are able to utilize now within the past 20 years with pipes and pumps. How were they able to do that without pipes and pumps, just using mud and water? But yet we can't do that. We had to use all this fancy technology, and they didn't have that. On the flip side, the message that I want to convey is that someone is not coming to save us unless we put forth our own energy to make something happen. So it's for me to help you find your purpose in yourself to bring better good into this world, bring love into this world. Again, I'm not going against the Bible and the message that it conveys. I'm just saying that for what I believe in, the Bible just serves a purpose in being a basic level of foundational information for you to build off of. That's just it. I'm done.
All right, look. So you go rain dance. I'm gonna be in the restaurant on my phone, waiting for my order to come up. All right. So now there's a cultural difference, and we advance. We're way past rain dancing. So give homage to our ancestors for what?
I haven't tried rain dancing yet, but I'm down for the experience.
I mean, I can respect what they've done. Mud and water is still a very important mixture in what we do today and use every day, every place you go. Mud and water.
I'm aware. That's why I brought it up.
So the advancements we've made on top of population growth, we're not gonna sit here and use mud and water irrigation from. What about sewage?
Okay.
What about sewage?
They had ways of getting rid of it.
Yeah, I know they had a way. You think those ways would work now? That shit should be backed up with garbage.
You know what's crazy is that the Europeans, they were living a very filthy lifestyle. Like they weren't bathing on a regular. Yeah, they weren't bathing on a regular basis. Like they were. I think it was like once or twice a month or something. It was disgusting. And when I was reading this, the Moors came in and helped them like implement different things like bathrooms and toilets so that they didn't have to like shit outside their door and different things. So I find it very interesting that again a group of people came and taught certain people certain things, but I wonder where they got the information from, because the Moors were people that would travel around and they would learn different things from different cultures.
That's how it works.
No,
That's how it works.
I think you're missing my point, but okay.
That's how it's supposed to work.
You missed my point, but okay.
Look, we come up with this shit here in the U.S.
You're missing my point.
Hold on, we come up here with this shit here in the U.S.
I think we should move on
and send it to China.
I think we should move on. Again, if you're missing my point, we should justify the point. But if you don't want to hear that, that's why we should just move on. So let's just move on.
I'm gonna finish what I'm saying, and then you get back to that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna move on from it.
No, that's messed up. I'm gonna build blah 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 blah. So you talk about self-growth, right? Self-growth, you know what I'm saying? You say the Bible is a jump start for you to get up and go and build yourself up. That's not what the Bible's for, bro. The Bible's supposed to build you up. Yes, the Bible's supposed to build your soul up, build you into a better person. make you more self-aware. But it's not supposed to make you go out there and believe you could do shit on your own without the help of God.
Like I said before, it's all about the representation of God, and I understand that God is really nature. You're looking at it from your standpoint, I'm looking at it from my standpoint. We're technically saying the same things, but what you're not seeing from my point of view, which I do see from your point of view, because again, I was in your shoes, is that nature gives me everything that I need. Everything, just as much as you're saying that God gives you everything you need, right or wrong.
He's like a conveyor belt.
Answer the question, right or wrong.
Yeah, he gives everything we need.
Nature is a conveyor belt, and it's. I was just listening to a very interesting article.
Bust it.
So, water. We have all this water in the world. We have all this water in the world.
Right.
But yet, we have, I believe, the 5 Great Lakes in the world are located right here in the United States. You know the crazy thing about those 5 Great Lakes? They're all interconnected. You know what that means? They're all connected underground. And
that's dope.
And it's fresh water.
That's dope.
It's fresh water. They're all interconnected underground, and it's fresh water. Why is that important, Cliff? Where is all that water coming from?
The ocean water?
Is it? It's fresh water.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just saying it's fascinating to think about it. But yet, all I'm saying is that Earth itself, nature, has a cycle that we would never really understand. Just as much as you're saying to me that God is something that we would never truly understand, whatever. All the above. So again, we're having the same debate here, but you're neglecting to see it from my point of view, which is fine. I've accepted that a long time ago. I'm just saying that don't make jokes of it, because I don't make jokes of you. But when I do make jokes, you can't be like, oh man, blasphemy, or
I was about to say I rebuke.
You can't be saying all that.
I was holding it back. That's why I was laughing. I was like, I rebuke.
I heard it.
Oh man.
But the point is, woe to thee, right?
Woe to thee.
Woe to thee. Okay. Woe to thee. Like I said, I may not know a lot about the Bible verbatim, but I know about a lot of other things in correlation with certain parts of the Bible. So I'm sure when I do read the Bible, it's gonna open my eyes with things outside of the Bible that I never thought about before. But again, it served a foundation for me to think a certain way to allow me to interpret nature in a better light.
Question. English.
Answer.
Bust it.
Answer.
Hey, just sit out. You believe in nature as in mother nature and stuff, right? Yes, nature.
They call it Mother Nature.
Whatever you want to call it.
Nature.
Just nature. All right, cool. So, you heard the story that's in the Bible called Sodom and Gomorrah?
Sodom,
yeah.
Sodom. That's modern day San Francisco. I'm just letting you know. Go ahead.
I'm not talking about the spirit of Sodom, but Sodom.
Just go ahead with your story.
All right, cool. It was destroyed according to the Bible. Rain, storm, hail. I forgot what they call it.
Catastrophic event. Hailstorm.
Sulfur, pretty much, falling from the sky.
Okay.
On command.
Okay.
Do you believe that story?
No.
Okay.
On command? No.
On command. You know the story about Lot running from the salt? Oh, matter of fact, that's what they talked about.
I heard of Lot. Didn't Lot have like sex with his 2 daughters?
No. Yes. His daughter had sex with him. He didn't have sex with his daughter.
Hey, here's a question, man.
So no. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me finish. So you don't believe that story at all, but you're about to tell me about this blah, blah, blah. Man, anyway, skipping that. So that place was destroyed, right? According to the scriptures. Brimstone. It's called it brimstone?
Fire and brimstone.
So now, since you believe in nature, they said in the area today that was located, Sodom and Gomorrah, they found sulfur from the fire and brimstone at 99 something or 98, 90 something percent. Only in that area on Earth have they found it at that much. Now, this happened. This is part of the story that Moses wrote. Only in that one spot on this planet. You talking about the mystery, underwater, bubbly, blah, 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 blah. You believe in nature. How does nature play into this?
So I would say in terms of that story, remember how I explained that there's plenty of catastrophic events that took place around the world? And those different events kind of shaped different things that we know that were historically recorded. Thus said, that's another one that I thank you that I can now add to my list of different catastrophic events that we can depict. Now again, I don't believe that thing would only happen in one place. I believe that could be in correlation to like a really huge volcano that something happened and that bitch just went there spitting shit out, burning trees, and niggas is getting burnt up.
How come there isn't another source
As big? Again,
no,
maybe
for where that's from is remember now you're in the desert. You're in the middle of the desert. No volcanoes there. In the middle of the desert.
Have you ever been to a desert?
Let's Google it. You think Google's gonna hide volcanoes in the desert?
Look it up.
All right, cool. What don't you do on your phone since this one's recording?
You looked up that scripture.
Yeah, no more of that.
Ah.
Why don't you pick your sources, Mister? You ever been to the desert?
Technically,
You ever been to the desert?
it was your question.
You ever heard of any this? All right, how about you Google that? And is there any other volcanoes?
A volcanic desert is an area devoid of vegetation because of volcanic activity. Volcanic deserts may have enough precipitation to sustain vegetation, but due to repeated covering of tephra and acid rain after eruptions and high percolation and infiltration rates of water, vegetation is scarce. So it looks like you can have volcanoes in deserts.
Okay.
Are there volcanoes in the Sahara Desert? Interesting. Seen from space, few other dormant volcanoes look as exotic and spectacular as Wa and Namas, the volcano located deep in the Sahara Desert in the Fezzan region of southwestern Libya.
Shit, you answered my question.
Appears as smear of dark basaltic ash and tephra that contrast sharply with light-colored sand of the Sahara Desert. Interesting. Mojave? That's in Egypt, right? Mojave, I think. Volcano in Palm Springs. Where's Palm Springs? Okay, I don't want to get too far off.
Yeah. You good?
Okay, that's interesting, right there, to say the least. Because again, it just shows us what little we really know about what's out there, and that's a part of why I want to be a pilot. With that being said, you know that China also has over 100 pyramids.
What?
China has over 100 pyramids.
Like, you sure it's not somebody's house?
Pyramids. You want me to Google that one for you too?
Oh, let me Google that one for you too.
Oh, that was the look you gave me. My bad.
Oh
Should I
shit!
not take you serious right now? So this article came out in 2019. This one says there are nearly 40 known pyramids, but not all are easily. Dang, where did it go? I didn't click the article and load it up. My apology. It says there's 40 known. Man, I wanted to read that. I wanted to read it in whole, complete it, because it wasn't a complete sentence. Either way, China has pyramids. Can I find the word? There are nearly 40 known pyramids, but not all are easily distinguishable to the human eye. They're covered with trees and grass, and many date back 8,000 years.
What?
Interesting.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
We're talking about the pyramids in China. They have pyramids that date back 8,000 years.
Damn.
They're also not quite pyramids, but more like giant flat-topped burial mounds for ancient emperors in that way. Well, it's still a pyramid technically. They almost have more in common with the Mesoamerican pyramids. Ooh, I was gonna bring that up. Mesoamerican pyramids, but the region is in essence China's version of both Giza, Egypt, and the Valley of the Kings, Memphis, if you didn't know. No, I'm just saying, if you didn't know, I just want to, just add into that. Particularly because there's a whole lot of royalty hiding under the dirt that no one has dared disturb. So I don't really need to dive in on that article. But it was why China keeps pyramids a secret. It was created by Frankie Knapp, February.
It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, pause.
Uh-huh.
You can pause right here.
Yeah.
I guess you could just drop me off or whatever, and I'll just make it work. But we can still chop it up in the car.
Sure. Because I don't know what the fuck we talking about anymore.
Since the beginning, we fought each other like savages, faced nature, destroyed the planet, created killer machines and weapons of mass destruction with the disregard of life. We're headed straight off the cliff. Wait, is that an 8?